So you leave Florida State. You didn't get an invite to the combine, but you ran a 4.27 at your pro day. When you go undrafted, you end up going to Denver. So were you surprised that you went undrafted?
Hell yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was. Now, looking back on it, I shouldn't have been surprised. But the reason why is because, hell, the dudes that was getting drafted, hell, I was way better than them in college.
Yeah.
You know, if you're looking at body of work,
Right.
you know what I mean? I probably had 2 or 3 punt returns to the crib. Probably had 6 touchdowns in college.
Yeah.
11, 12, 13 interceptions. Bowl game MVP twice.
Wow.
Started 4 years. I'm like, and I played at a good school against some good competition. So I thought that was the pedigree to go.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand was your potential for the next level. And I didn't understand that 5'9", 175 pounds is not potential for the next level. I didn't understand that. I just thought it was what you did and how you produce.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should. But I didn't know that they'll take a dude from New Mexico State.
Got the tangible.
Because he's 6'1" and he 195 pounds over somebody. I didn't know that. I had no idea. So I was kind of blind to it. I was just always taught the best man is whatever. You know what I mean? So I remember during the draft, that's probably the saddest day of my life. During the draft, I got a call in the 3rd round from Atlanta. They called me, hey, we thinking about taking you with our next pick if we take a defensive guy. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, Cleveland called in the 4th round. I'm like, so I'm getting calls. I'm at my mama's house. I'm getting calls. I'm like, I'm thinking I'm going to get drafted. I ain't had no draft party, nothing like that, because I didn't go to the combine or nothing like that. But I kind of figured, I went to an all-star game. They had the Texas vs. Nation game in, one of them, in El Paso, Texas, something like that. I did really well there.
Okay.
You know, did good in practice. I was like, okay, some of these dudes, I saw some of the dudes that I was in the all-star game with, they were getting picked. I'm like, I was killing him in practice.
Right.
You know, so I'm like, I should get picked. Man, then the 7th round come out, like, I don't even want to get picked. I was like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
But it was good. I thought that's when I cried. That's the first time I really cried around my mother. I was like sad when in the room. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And I'm thinking like, it's kind of over, but it's not over.
Yeah.
And of course my agent's like, oh, well, you got plenty of teams that want you, blah, blah, blah. So my high school teammate, Marcus Thomas, he had got drafted by the Broncos a year or so before.
Okay.
And so we were high school teammates and friends. He went to the University of Florida, he was a D lineman. So he was already playing with the Broncos. So he like, bro, come out here. Like, come here, you can stay with me. Like, he like, trust me. He like, you gonna like it, you gonna do good. So I was like, all right, cool. So I went to Denver. And we had a new coach. Josh McDaniels had just got the coaching job. That was his first coaching job.
Okay.
And he came from New England.
Yeah.
And so they were going through, new coaches. And I was like, all right, cool, I'll go.
Okay, so you end up going to Denver. What was your first year like? What was your first year in the NFL like?
It was actually, I was depressed, bro.
You was depressed?
I was
just
depressed.
because of like.
I was depressed because life was different. You went to school in Tallahassee, right? You leave Tallahassee, where you like the man, you got everything at your fingertips, and I go to Colorado, where I'm an undrafted free agent. I mean, I got a little bit of money, but not like that. I'm scratching and clawing. I got no friends out there, not my real. I got one friend who my buddy.
Yeah.
But he playing. He like a starter.
Yeah.
So he can't really relate to me. So I was like, man, I don't like this. This is not what I thought about. This is not the dream that I was dreaming about.
Dang.
So I was like, man, this is terrible. So I'm on the practice squad. Well, first of all, when we first get there, I'm fighting, through camp. Not getting no reps. You know it. You know how it is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang. But I go back. I'm like, well, one-on-ones, I'm finna shine. I'm gonna go guard Brandon Marshall, who was the number 1 receiver at the time. They like, nah, get him out of there. They trying to get me up out of there.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, let me go get some.
Yeah.
Let me go get some. But I had already knew Brandon. My high school teammate went to UCF, and they were roommates in college. So I used to work out with them in the summertime.
Okay.
He a little bit older than me, but I already knew him. Eddie Royal was a rookie. He made first team all whatever his rookie year. He went to Virginia Tech. I was going against him all years in college. I'm like, I've been playing against him for 4 years already.
Yeah.
So I'm like, these are the starters on the team. So I'm like, I know I can guard these two. Let me go out here and see. Now, of course, my rookie year, what I will tell you is that mentorship of older guys really like instill confidence in you. And this is I have 3 Hall of Famers my rookie year in the secondary. Champ Bailey, Brian Dawkins, and Ty Law.
I ain't know that. I suppose
3 Hall of Famers, bro. 3 Hall of Famers in the secondary.
You came up.
And they all older. And Champ and I, we still friends to this day. And Dawkins is from Jacksonville, so I know him. I didn't know Ty Law at all. So Ty Law had been in New England for a while. McDaniels brought him over because, they had the New England deal. So he came over. Dawkins was coming over from Philly. Champ was already there. He was the man. Of course, I was idolizing all of them.
Right.
And so, man, when I got there, like, my locker was next to Champ's. Like, they didn't think I was going to be there.
That's what you
right?
really
Undrafted. They like, oh, he ain't going to be here. We just put his locker here, and so he'll be out of here. Then Champ have a free locker next to him, right?
Yeah.
So, man, Champ is from South Georgia. I'm from Jacksonville. So we like right up the road. So I remember when I come in there, I met him. I'm like, oh, he a cool dude. And he was like talking to me, and it sounds weird saying it because we boys now, but he was like, man, I want to go to Florida State, but they ain't offer me.
Oh man.
Then I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I didn't offer me. He was like, yeah, man, they ain't really want me, man. They wanted somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I said I want to go to Georgia. I said I didn't want to go. I said I like Georgia, but they ain't really recruit me like that. And so we just kind of got talking, and come to find out, some people in his family knew some people in my family. He was like, man, he was like, I got you, man. Don't worry about nothing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this was during like camp. And I used to be trying to like stay around the facility a lot because I heard older people say, man, stay around the facility. Don't be so quick to go back to the hotel or wherever you're going. Hang around the facility. So I used to get in there early I ain't doing nothing. I'm just in there. And then, stay around a little bit late, whether it's talking to the trainers or going in the weight room or just hanging around. You know what I mean?
Sure. Face.
So then, the bus for the rookies, they leave at a certain time. So I used to be asking people for a ride home and stuff. I'm like, let me get a ride back to the hotel, asking the vets and stuff, give me a ride back to the hotel. So then Champ gave me a ride one time, and he took me to his house. And I'm like, dang, he got this big-ass house. You know what I mean?
I ain't depressed no more. I need something
like,
good, right?
He got this big old house. So then I go to his crib, and he was like, man, here, take the whip. He let me hold his Range Rover. He was like, take the whip. He was like, just give it back to me, whenever, Monday or whatever.
That's crazy.
So the weekend goes by. I have his car. So I'm like, hey, I come into work. I like, hey, bro, I got your car. He like, just hold on to it. He let me hold his car. He let me hold the car the whole season.
Man.
He was like, don't spend your money. He's like, you good. You know what I mean? So then I had another dude, Andre Davis, like a big brother to me. We still close. Dre was like a 9 or 8 year, he was 8-9 year vet at the time. Okay. He was a linebacker. He was a starting linebacker. And so all those dudes, they kind of took me under their wings because they saw like my personality. I was like real laid back about my business, just like real chill. So Dre was like, man, I got a car, you want to buy it? And I was like, man, I can't buy your car. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, you ain't got to pay me. Just pay me whenever you can.
Yeah.
So he gave me a car.
Dang, boy.
And basically, I gave him like $6,000. Maybe.
Yeah, just,
and he was like, how he sold it to me was 000. And I'm like, all right. So then I gave him like $1,000 a week, like the last 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
So I like, champ, I got a car now, bro. You can get your whip back. You know what I mean? He was like,
Don't tell me.
just drop it off. But like, he went
okay.
He was like, whenever you want to do, like, you know what I mean? So it was kind of weird because I'm like hanging around. I'm not hanging around these dudes, but like I'm hanging around them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They taking me under their wing. Like, you know, like Dre wife will cook and he'll be like, "But my wife cooking, come through."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I go to his house, eat, and I kind of like, you know, I'm looking around. They got real houses and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's love.
So they family. So he was a real family man. So I learned a lot from him. Like, okay, this is the other side of the NFL. Like these boys over here wilding, hanging out, going out. Okay, this dude got a wife, kids. He all about his family.
Yeah.
Faith wise, I like that.
Yeah.
And I was doing a bit of both. You know what I mean?
But it's the same. You
But
gotta see it.
but I learned from those older guys and just being around Dawkins, seeing how he worked every day. In the weight room, he the same in the weight room as he is on the field.
Man, going crazy.
Going there and lifting hard.
Yeah.
In the meeting room, bro. In the meeting room. I'm at you and that's where you really, you know, you play. So in the meeting room, that's when you like learn.
Yeah.
That's when you learn your boys and all that stuff. When they do bad, when they do good, how they are. So I remember one time we had a rookie come in there late and Dawkins was like, don't even worry about it.
Oh, keep it pushing.
He like, don't even worry about it. So we doing like, what? So basically they told the dude to leave.
That's what I'm saying.
He like, bro, if it don't mean enough to you to show up on time, you can't play with us Sunday.
Ooh.
Like basically like, nah, we don't want you to play.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I was never late. Now this is just something a players mean. This not even coaches mean.
But he's saying the standard. He's saying the standard.
He said the
and that's
standard.
what
He's like, nah. And it can't. And so I learned from those dudes, meaning like, I saw how those dudes took it serious. And they wasn't trying to do stuff for other people. They really cared about like their teammates. Like Chan was probably the quietest dude on the whole team.
Yeah.
But he practiced every single day.
Yeah.
He like, oh no, I ain't finna not practice. Ain't none of y'all young bucks about to take my spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro,
You chill, baby. Ain't nobody finna put this
But I saw how he went about it. Off-season workouts, bro. He got the bonus. He like, bro, I gotta come. I don't want to be here. I'm gonna come get this bread. You know what I mean? So like, I saw how he operated, how he moved. So it was like very good to see. And so I'm glad I came in and got to see that. So that kind of helped my career. That's why I ended up lasting longer than they expected.
Nah, that's that. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you know, everybody not gonna get that chance to be on the 3 Hall of Famers.
Correct.
In their position.
In the same room.
Position,
Yes.
Same room. Like that's really rare, bro. So, you know, and then obviously everybody else ain't getting the keys to the Rage room. Like, they're trying to squad, like,
Hey.
you feel me? So no, they like that was you know, he was real blessed in that area for sure. So after your first year in Denver, you ended up going to a couple of different teams. Like what happened with that?
So after my rookie year, I finished my rookie year, I was playing. Like I was a starting nickel like the last 4 games of the season.
Okay.
So I ended up working my way up to playing my rookie year. And then in the off season, the draft came, all of that. So they cut me. They cut me and I went to New England. How I went to New England because Josh McDaniels came from New England. And so they had a relationship. New England worked me out before the draft. So they wanted me to come anyway.
Okay.
So I went to New England. Same, you know. So I went to New England. I get there. I'm like, boy, I thought I didn't like Denver. This is I'm like, it's so cold out here in the middle of the night. That ain't Boston.
Nah, it's
Mansfield, Massachusetts. That's where I live. I said, bro, it is. And I'm talking about working. I'm
just
talking
during
about
the Belichick, was Tom Brady at that point?
yes sir.
Okay.
Yes sir. They had already won Super Bowls and stuff.
Okay.
So it was like they were already established. It's rolling. But when I tell you, bruh, I got to New England, I learned more football when I got to New England than I had learned my whole career. I'm talking about from top to bottom.
What?
I learned about offensive line. That's what made me want to coach. How they prepared themselves and how they went about the details of every single thing. That's the best thing that could happen to me my second year in the league, because now I I saw some examples of some really good players and how they went about it. Okay, now I go here to where some players are lesser talented here, but they got the coaching staff and what how they prepare for games. You walk into the meeting, bro, they like, hey, who's the left tackle for the Minnesota Vikings? We playing Minnesota. Who's the left tackle? Javien, who's the left tackle? And you be like, you don't know.
Yeah.
Better know tomorrow.
Better know.
So it's like the Patriot way, that stuff was real, bro.
Dang.
So I learned a lot there. I learned about special teams. I learned about just how to prepare for certain quarterbacks. Just you learn so much.
Yeah.
Kicking game.
Yeah.
You learned about the phases of just education, bro. Wow. School football, education with some ability. And I can see why, they won a lot, and these players flourished too. Yeah. All these great DBs that went there. McCourty was a rookie when I was there. He made the Pro Bowl as a corner. People don't even know he played corner first.
Nah, I didn't.
Devin McCourty was a corner first, made the Pro Bowl his rookie year. Had like 6, 7 picks, I believe. As a rookie.
They had a machine.
Sante Samuels, all them dudes he was there before I was there. But
he played with some boys.
The knowledge of like, what them dudes, how they talk.
Yeah.
You can see why.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it there. I went to New England. After New England, that was the lockout year, 2010. So we ain't had no off season. So I really went to New England. I ended up getting on the active roster there playing. So after New England come, we had the lockout year. We lock out the whole summer, no off season. Mm-hmm. So now it's just time to come back to camp. Soon as the lockout got lifted, probably at 12 o'clock noon. New England called me at 1. Cut. I'm like, what?
God. Nah.
I didn't even go back to New England. I was home. I was here in Orlando working out. And they cut me. I'm like, why they gonna cut me? And that didn't even whatever. So fast forward, bro. I didn't have a job in the preseason.
Yeah.
So I go to Minnesota the last week of the preseason. Mm-hmm. This is 2011, my 3rd year.
That's kind of. Go ahead.
So I'm a camp body.
That's what I was about to say.
Bro, they brought me in on Wednesday. No, they brought me in on Tuesday, the game on Thursday.
That's a setup.
Bro, I had number 49 on.
Number 49? I bet you appreciate it.
Got a pick.
Got a pick?
In the game. Didn't know what was. They threw me out there. Got an interception in the game. So I already know it's a camp body. I get there. I'll practice one day with the team. Did a walkthrough. Go play in the game. Mm-hmm. And I played a good amount. We playing against Seattle. And I remember being out there like, I don't even know the calls or nothing, but we playing basically cover 3, cover 2 man. That's all we played. Mm-hmm. I ended up getting an interception in that game. Fast forward, you know how after that weekend, the NFL get a week off or whatever, or the weekend off. Mm-hmm. So I already knew they was about to cut me. I flew back to Orlando. I got a little spot I had down here already. I had already brought all my stuff home. They called me like, hey, we're going to release you. You need us to get anything? I said, I'm already home. Like, I'm already gone, man.
That's crazy.
I already knew what time it was.
Yeah.
So, bro, make a long story short, I am home. That's that's early September. That's September. I'm home all of September, most of October. Mm. I'm working out with Coach Shaw. And I'm working out with Coach Brooks, the track coach. So I'm just working out. Yeah. I ain't got no job. I'm here.
Waiting on the phone call.
I'm like, man, at this point, I'm about to get a real job or something. I got some money, a little bit of money, but not enough to like last me forever.
Yeah.
Right.
So squad.
Right. So I had a car, you know what I mean? I had a place to live that I was renting at the time. And I'm like, okay, what the heck am I going to do? And, there was some other guys who went to Florida State. They were older than me. Mm-hmm. They didn't have a job at the time too. Travis Johnson, Mario Henderson, God rest his soul, Alex Barron. Them boys 1st round picks. Mm. So they didn't have a job at the time, but they were in like year 6, 7, whatever. They were veteran players. Mm. So we all stand together at the townhouses that Coach Shaw had for us, mm-hmm. and we having the time of our lives. Mind you, they got money.
Yeah.
They 1st round picks.
Yeah.
So I'm staying with Travis Johnson. That's my boy. And Trap, like, he had a townhouse. He like, bro, just give me, you ain't gotta give me $300 a month. You know what I mean? You whatever. So that was a blessing to me.
Oh yeah.
Cause I was saving my money up. And then finally I got a call back from the Broncos, like in the middle of the season, and they wanted me to come work out. So I'm like, all right, go work out for them. And then we get done. We did all these drills on the field. Now it's cold as hell out there. We do all these drills on the field, blah, blah. And they like, oh, we're going to run the 40. I'm like, yes.
My money.
Oh, yes, my money right here. It's going to be good.
I've been waiting.
I've been working hard. It's the hardest I ever worked. Because I kind of know how to work now. We run the 40. And so the guy who's the interim GM for the Raiders right now, Champ Kelly. Champ Kelly was a scout in Denver. Champ Kelly is my guy now. Champ Kelly, he always liked me. He was a Florida State fan and all that.
Okay.
So he brought me there the first time. I used to talk to him a lot. So then when I came back, I remember after the workout, we ran the 40. So I'm like, what I run? And he looked at me, he said, bro, you might have ran the fastest time we ever had here at the workout. He like, oh yeah. He like, oh yeah, you gonna be here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what I run? He was like, I think you run like a 4.28, bro.
Ooh, that boy blazed.
It was like 30 degrees outside.
Jeez.
So I was like, oh, really? The following week, bro, I'm playing. I mean, they put me in. Like, I'm on the active roster as soon as I get there. And then I played there for 4 more years.
Look at that. So just going from flying home early, leaving Minnesota,
Right.
not knowing when your next opportunity going to
Right,
come.
but always be ready. And Coach Shaw was a bigger testament to that because he kept me like, of course I knew to work out, but he was like, man, you got to add more value. And I'm like, what you mean? Like, you got to play some special teams.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I ain't never really played special teams. I like that. So every morning, bro, workout start at 9. I meet Coach Shaw at 8, and he'll shoot the jugs for me to catch punts. So when I got back, I'm like, oh yeah, I return punts. So I was always a backup punt returner.
Yeah.
Like, just always could catch.
Yeah.
So like, finally, like in my later career, they used to put me at punt return, or I was the guy that like, it's cold out there, we just want you to catch it.
Yeah.
Go back there and catch it. So it's like, oh, he's a backup returner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, you can play gunner a little bit, which I never really played it, but
The more you can do.
the more you can do. So like, I kind of learned, what my role was.
Yeah.
And Coach Shaw helped me out a lot because he was like, you got to add more value to yourself. So like, don't be, you can't just be a cover corner. You got to go and play inside and outside. They wanted me to play inside because of my size, but I play outside way better.
Yeah.
But I knew I could play everywhere. So finally, when I went back to Denver, I got the opportunity. Now I'm playing a whole lot. I'm actually like in the mix. I'm like, I'm out here now.
Yeah.
It's like totally different from what I was my first 3 years in the
Yeah.
league, to my next 4 or 5 years later. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, that's lit, man. That's lit. And then another thing, when you get to Denver, you actually, man, you really got a chance to play with some great players, bro.
Really
Like,
good players.
You play with Peyton Manning.
Yep, Peyton Manning.
Play with Peyton Manning, and y'all end up going to the Super Bowl.
Yep. So when Peyton got there, it was like, before people, we had Tebow when I first got there, and it was like we went to the playoffs, and then we had other players. When Peyton got there, it was like, oh, we got a chance to win. You know what I mean? Like the whole vibe of the whole everything changed. So, we brought in some free agents, and which was not good for me because we kept bringing in all these dudes and pretty much like
Compete.
kick me out of that kind of thing. And bro, we had got new coaches, new coordinators, all this stuff. So it was like they ain't like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They wasn't dealing. I wasn't one of their guys. So I had to earn my spot every year, to be a part of the 53-man roster. I might have been man number 53.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably it was, but I would tell you what, every year, I'm like, I know I'm finna practice. I'm finna make some plays in practice. And when we get out here and I'm playing against these guys in the preseason who rookies, I'm finna go out there and dog them if they put me in late.
Yeah.
So, I remember I had to play against Terrell Owens. You know what I mean? I had to play against all these old vets who still trying to, make teams. They older. And I'm playing against some of the young players. But I already knew, like, all I got to make the team, I just got to be healthy.
Yeah.
and make plays. So every preseason, I probably get 1 or 2 picks in the game.
There you go.
And they can't cut you.
They can't. You know what I'm saying? It's
They
like,
can't cut
They
you.
wanted to.
They wanted to.
They wanted to.
They went to a lot of times. But they had to keep me because they like, damn, he's still making plays. He's like making plays. And he can cover. We can always put him in to, because you need like 5 or 6 corners that can play.
Yep.
So if I played special teams or not, they like, well, it'll be some games I wasn't active, but we playing like a team that throw the ball, I'm active every week, and I'm playing.
Yeah, they're gonna put that package together.
Exactly.
So, man, you got to play with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
Yep.
And I know the Patriot way was Josh McDaniel the coach with Peyton Manning? Who was?
We had John Fox.
Okay.
John Fox came from Carolina. He went to the Super Bowl with Carolina. They lost, but he went to the Super Bowl. And John Fox was a defensive guy. But when Peyton came, it was like, different story. We had a chance to win. Now, we lost, the better team was probably the year. We went to the playoffs every year with Peyton there. Now, when they won the Super Bowl, I left and went to Indianapolis.
Oh, man.
So they got rid of me. I lost the Super Bowl against Seattle. So when Seattle beat us, that's when they broke all the records on offense and had the highest scoring offense in the history of football, all that stuff. That was a really good team, but we lost. Seattle had our number, bro. Their defense was good.
Yeah.
They played Legion of Boom. They played that zone coverage and pass rush. That was the kryptonite.
Yeah.
So they killed us with that. And it started off bad. The first play of the game, we snapped the ball in the end zone.
I remember that.
And I'm like, oh, it's over. Then Percy Harvey ran the kickback. I'm like, it's a wrap. So we got whooped in that. But I would say it was some good times that we had some really good teams. And then one year we got beat by Indianapolis in the playoffs, which we shouldn't have lost. And then the year when Baltimore won the Super Bowl, when they threw that Hail Mary to win, or that play to Jacoby Jones down the sideline.
Against San Francisco.
They won against San Francisco, but we lost to Baltimore to go. And we had beat them 31 to like 3-3s before that. And then we played them in the playoffs and we did not perform well. Like we turned the ball over. Defense gave up 3 or 4 bombs. And that was the game.
Dang.
And so they beat us in overtime on the field goal and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. That was the team that what I played on was probably the best team.
Dang.
With Peyton. But so the year they won, hell, they got rid of me. They won. I said, damn.
Yeah, went and got that ring.
Exactly.
I kind of know how that feels.
Yeah, no doubt.
I know how that feels. So you leave Denver and then you end up going to Indy. Now this after playing, what, 5 years?
Yeah, so I'm in year 7 at this point.
7,
I'm in year 7, so I go to Indy. And it was kind of like, I ain't last Indy long. I probably was there maybe 10 weeks or so because I was hurt. I was hurt the first 6 weeks of the season. So I was like doing like a medical, settlement type thing. So I couldn't play the first 6 weeks or else I couldn't get my settlement or whatever.
Okay.
So then I got picked up by Indy, go to Indy and played a little bit, but not much. You know what I mean? They already had their guys and some good players too.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Indy because I had some friends out there playing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I was cool there. Then I left Indy, and then going to year 8, I went to New Orleans.
Okay.
And then I broke my foot in New Orleans, so I never played there. But that was my last year, my 8th year. And so I thought when I broke my foot, it was like, hell, if I can't run, I can't play.
Because that's always been your thing.
Right, sweet.
Yeah.
So I break my foot there, and then after I break my foot, it probably took like a whole year to kind of get back. So then I went down to and relationships matter because a lot of coaches that I played for before that I've been around, like I just text them like, Coach, I'm trying to come back and play. They're like, oh, we'll work you out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They're just basically like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
But my foot wasn't the same. So I went to Miami and the Dolphins were probably gonna sign me, but I failed the physical.
Dang.
So I was like, well, it's over. Guess I get into coaching now.
Dang, that's how you knew it when it was a wrap.
Yeah,
huh?
no doubt. Yep.
Dang. So you end up transitioning into coaching. You said you knew you wanted to coach from being in New England.
Correct.
So how did you get your first coaching job in the NFL?
Well,